my name is Emma, and this video is all about my application and interview experience for the medical school at Macquarie University. So if you're interested in that, then keep watching. Before I start telling you the details, I just want to get all of this information out there. I'm from Canada, so I'm a Canadian international student applying to the Australian medical schools. I applied through an awesome service called AUSTREC. They are amazing, and I will tell you more about them in another video, hopefully soon. And I applied for the 2019 entry. So that means all of my application documents and interviews and things took place in 2018 for school to start in 2019. If you are applying in any of years after that, please make sure that you check the Macquarie website and AUSTREC and other information just to make sure that everything is actually correct. Dates may change, procedures may change, and don't take my word for law because I've only done this once. That being said, let's just jump into it. So since AUSTREC had all my documents, because I was a little bit early in getting them everything, I am out of school, so it wasn't hard to get them all the documents sort of rounded up. They basically could submit my application as soon as things were done. Macquarie does require a supplementary application form, which is just a few questions that pertain specifically to their unique program, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So I did delay that process myself. AUSTREC was on the ball, they reminded me about it, but I did wait until my placement in Namibia was done because I wanted to be able to reflect upon that within my personal statement, if that makes sense. And it'll all make sense once I tell you the timeline a little bit more. So the application's opened far before my application was actually submitted. My application was submitted, looking at my notes here, on June 11th. And then on June 19th, I was told that the application had passed through admissions, so I met the minimum MCAT and the minimum GPA requirements and everything like that, and it was in the hands of the faculty to review the strength of my degree, my application numbers against other numbers, as well as that personal statement, because that's really important to Macquarie. So late July, I hadn't heard anything yet, and I was starting to hear different things from the other schools, so I thought I would follow up and just be like, hey, I was told it was in your hands about a month ago. What's going on? Do you need any information? Should I wait longer? Is there a timeline? Just, kind of checking out what was going on. And I'm really glad I did because on August 2nd, so like about a week later, I got an invitation for an interview. And that was really exciting. It took a little bit of sorting out when that interview was going to be because they did need some staff and faculty members available, obviously, for the interview. And on August 7th, I was interviewed. And then on August 16th, I received an offer to attend Macquarie University. The interview itself was really interesting. It was my first Skype interview, so I really wasn't sure what to make of it. I don't think we even used Skype. We used another sort of video conferencing service that also allowed them to share video and text files with me. So they went through some sort of situational judgment questions like you would expect at any med school interview, and some of them were in the form of a video, some of them I had to read, some of them they verbally told me. So it was kind of like this mix of how you received information and then how you were able to respond. You would say sort of your answer or response, and then they would have some leading questions, and it was just sort of me and a computer, and then four or five of them sitting around a desk that they'd kind of rotate me to. So it was really interesting, and they stayed very stoic, and that really freaked me out. I think I have some clips that I can insert from the interview, and it was so interesting to be as animated as I think I am in interviews and kind of trying to have a conversation with the person, and then just to be met with very stoic responses. And I've been told, and I read about all sorts of different med school interviews, that's sometimes the case. Sometimes that is how the med school wants to conduct their interviews, and it was my first one, so I didn't know that that was true or not, and it definitely is true. So that really threw me off. It was the first time I did it online, and they were very, very stoic, so I didn't have a vibe. I didn't know how I thought I did. So getting that email on August 16th was very exciting because I honestly thought I had failed the interview and lost my chance there. So that was my experience. Now, some of the sort of nitty-gritty details that you might want to know. Macquarie University is based in Sydney, so the capital of Australia, I believe. And it's a 4-year program, 2 years preclinical, 2 years clinical, pretty standard across the board. What's really unique about Macquarie is that in your 3rd year, you have to partake in a mandatory international placement. So you spend half of your year abroad in a sister hospital in India doing your clinical placements, and you're doing them along the side of your other half of your cohort, so you have Skype meetings to sort of talk to each other and compare the difference between India and Australia. And then in 4th year, you can do up to 16 weeks international again. That could be back in India, or it could be in another international placement. So that's really interesting, and I think that attracts a very specific group of applicants. Macquarie admits about 60 students each year for their medical school, so that's very small, and about 20 of them are international. So international students like myself make up about a third of that cohort for that year, and I think that makes sense given Macquarie's international focus, that they obviously want a breadth of students to sort of color their program and to provide perspective. So it's interview day. I'm vlogging because I think it's a little bit of good practice looking at a camera lens and speaking slowly and clearly. Hopefully that kind of helps. I'm in my office right now. The background's not very cute. I'll be moving to actually my boss's office to use his space for the interview just because it looks a little bit nicer, and I'd rather do it here than at home because home I can't control the noise as much and I'm just scared of like my neighbors or something yelling. So I'm going to be doing it in the office. My day at work just finished. Maybe not one of my most productive days, but I do feel good. I got some things done, completed a to-do list, so I'm feeling, you know, confident and capable. Craig's on his way over, and we're gonna get some food, and I'm gonna go for a bit of a walk, and then I will go set up my boss's office so that my camera's in a nice space, it looks good, behind me is good, I'm lit, and I'm gonna put a sticky note, this is a little tip, I'm gonna put a sticky note pointing at the camera so I know to look at the camera instead of my own little face on the screen. Yeah, I've been having moments throughout the day where I've been more or less nervous. Sometimes I just kind of forget and I'm working away, and then other times my heart starts racing and I'm obviously very nervous. I'm very excited too. But like right now, it's just, yeah, I really want this. So I feel prepared. I feel like I know how to say the things I want to say. If they ask me questions I think they'll ask, I feel like I am capable of answering questions of sort of a general what would you do if situation, and I'm gonna have a little bit of practice time with my laptop to make sure that my microphone is loud enough and I kind of know how loud I have to speak. Yeah, so I didn't vlog my dinner or my prep. Sorry. I kind of important things on my mind. It's done. I did it. I don't know how I feel. They didn't ask the questions I had expected. Well, at least like the one that I was super excited to answer. And I don't want to say anything because obviously I signed a confidentiality agreement for a reason. They don't want people knowing all the questions that they're going to ask. Technology-wise, it went swimmingly. I know that that can be a worry. Is things going to connect? We used like a sharing, not Skype, but another software. It's just an extension to Google, and it worked really well. They shared their screen with me a couple times, and everything went fine. I feel like I spoke well. I feel like I answered the questions well and said good things. I finished early, and that worries me. I finished just under 10 minutes early, and I don't know how I feel about that. Again, I said what should be said without saying more, I feel like. I didn't incorporate things about myself just for the sake of doing it, and that I'm proud of. I don't think I spoke too quickly. I think I was speaking about this pace. Might be a little fast, but that's natural for me. Yeah, I did ask a question at the end. They did give me time to do that, and they did smile and say that was a good question to ask, so that bodes well. I think I'm more nervous now than I was afterward or before, just because it's no longer mine. Should hear back in about 2 weeks. So I guess I'll see you guys then, or maybe see you if, more opinions arise throughout the night. But for now, I'm gonna go home, have a snack, get ready for work tomorrow. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. So that's my experience applying to Macquarie University. Comment down below, are you interested in Macquarie University for med school? Are you interested in Australia for med school? Be sure to subscribe so you see all of my other videos about the other schools that I applied to, and stay subscribed to find out which school I actually will be attending. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it and you want to hear more about my experience. And yeah, keep the comments going down below. Let's have a conversation, and I'll see you next time. Bye.